Are you going to say bad things about my favorite coffee today? Oh, no, no, no. Your coffee is the best coffee in the world. Except for in every single way. Let's look at a scenario. Imagine that I own a coffee brand, right? And I want to expand my business and I want to take it on the next level, and I'm interested in expanding to different branches through a new distribution cycle. So I decide to go to a supermarket chain called X, and I sign up a long-term contract with them, which helps me distribute coffee through their chain, through their branches all over the city I live in. Let's say that X has 10 branches in my city. Let's also say that X requires that I put at least 10 bags of coffee in each branch. Let's just say that each bag has about 1 kg of coffee in it. That means that I'm looking at about 100 kg of coffee just to fill up the stores. This is where my first problem arises. Now, to ensure a certain level of consistency in my quality, I need to look into and explore coffee farms that produce in bulk and have a certain level of standardization and can deliver coffee to me on a regular basis. Eventually, I'll be looking at coffee farms based on the equator, not too high in altitude because as you go up higher in altitude, the yield of coffee starts to reduce. Can you guess what farms and what countries I'll be looking at? If you guess Brazil or Vietnam, you'd be right. Tell me in the comments below. My main aim would be to find good quality beans. First of all, good quality beans which are reasonably priced, and beans which are even looking, that look nice to the eye. That means basically nothing which is organic, or nothing which is naturally processed, something which is washed, and something which is mass produced. As a supermarket brand, I will need to have more than one supplier so that a certain consistency, in quality is maintained. Plus, again, to ensure a certain flavor, certain quality in flavors, and to cater to the needs of the regular coffee drinker, the bulk of the population. Usually, supermarket companies opt to provide a lot of blends because blends are easier to work with, blends are easier to maintain over a period of time. For example, if there's a drought somewhere, it is easier to maintain the quality of your blend rather than a single origin coffee. So now I have set up my supply chain. I have stocked my 100 kgs of coffee all over the city, and the coffee slowly starts to sell. Now the question arises about the freshness of the roast. Specialty coffee roasters usually write the roasting date and usually sell off their roast in about 3 to 4 weeks at max. But supermarket coffee bags are required by government to write a manufacturing date and then an expiry date. They both have a time difference of about 1 to 2 years between them. Obviously, companies anticipate that these coffee bags or any other product can be on the aisle for a very long period of time. For example, for 1 year, they make sure that these coffee brands, these coffee bags, or any other product can have as high a shelf life as possible. Now, to make sure that the coffee stays as fresh as possible, usually coffee companies opt to pack their bags with nitrogen. Plus, they have little escape valves in them so that if the coffee releases any carbon dioxide or is degassing, the coffee bag doesn't leak. Of course, all of this costs money and hence raises the price of your coffee bag. So in other words, a higher price of a coffee does not necessarily mean a higher quality of coffee. It simply means that the coffee company has lots of liabilities. So if you pick up a bag of coffee of, say, Lavazza, from where you do your groceries from, try and find more details about the coffee that is contained in that bag. For example, its origin, its roasting date, the type of beans, the type of plantation, what's the quantity of, what's the blend like, all those details. I have a feeling those details will be absent. But I'm not at all saying that supermarket coffees, these coffee brands, are bad in any way. All I'm saying is that these companies have to operate in certain legalities, which is why they are the way they are. I'm just stating facts. But the main question is, how do these coffees taste? Now, as most of you will know, I am part of a small roastery. So I roast my own coffee. I have an abundant supply of freshly roasted coffee at my disposal. Plus, I'm a barista as well. So I'm a little spoiled when it comes to choice of coffees and what I would like to have in the morning. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my biases and my prejudices aside, and I'll keep them in check so that I can give you an unvarnished idea of what these coffees taste like. Supermarket coffees aim to please the crowd. They are not looking to please snobbish people like me. I mean, the world does not revolve around people like me. So the coffees taste very traditional. The roasting is very traditional, more on the darker side. The coffees are not very acidic, not very fruity, chocolatey, nutty, mostly crowd pleasers. Things will be a bit different here and there, but mostly that is the ballpark that you're looking into. Plus, it is a bit easier to hide the quality of your coffee and what kind of coffee you're using if your roast is a little on the darker side. The darker the roast, the less characteristics the bean will have. But the fact is that people enjoy these kind of notes in their coffee, in their morning coffee. Blame it on Nescafe, blame it on McDonald's, whatever you want to say, but people actually enjoy these kind of flavors. The chocolatey notes, the ashy notes. So this should give you a very good idea of what supermarket coffees taste like, what are you looking for. The packaging is almost always very, very bright, but when it comes to taste, you will have it's more of a trial and error thing. You will have to buy a pack. Whenever you go and buy a pack of coffee from your supermarket or your grocery store, always try to get the smallest pack so that you can give it a try first. When you give it a try and you like it, that's when you go for a bigger pack. So those are my 2 cents on supermarket coffees. Tell me about your views in the comments down below. Have you tried these coffees? Do you have a favorite coffee? Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Tim Hortons. Which one do you like the best? Do you have a favorite coffee brand? What do you have in the morning? How do you have your coffee in the morning? Tell me in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. And I hope you have a great day.